Look like I was over my armpit. Good day. Welcome to Now. I'm Jane, a spiritual guide, a quantum yogi, and a master of absolutely nothing. I'm aware. So I want to share something, and I hope that it's of service. So this past weekend, we had the full moon, and it was a time that I was called very loudly to go into a ceremony with myself, by myself, and to connect with my heart, my high heart, great spirit, the oneness with love, whatever that word is. I needed to really tap back in. And so for me, I want to share this because of what's coming up with a lot of people. So it might be reflective of maybe what you're experiencing. Um, because for me, I've had in moving through my emotional body. A lot of people are moving through their mental body or their physical body, and either way, it's not comfortable. So I just kind of want to lend some tools for the grace that I've been requested to share. So ride the wave in grace. So anyway, so what came through for me when I was in ceremony, so it was just me sitting at my one of the altars and being in prayer, meditation, being inquisitive, um, journaling, being really reflective and contemplative, and just diving into my heart and like, okay, well, I still have these feelings of anger and feeling like I'm fucking stupid. How could I have let myself be suckered into that experience or whatever that was? And so a lot of these like nuggets of pain bodies really came into my awareness. And for me, it was moving through it emotionally because, well, not because, side note, everything in the physical is a manifestation of an energetic wobble or notch wobble. So energy precedes matter, it's information in motion, it's the same thing as emotion. So if there's a physical pain, there's going to be an emotional tie to it. Whether it's in our conscious awareness or subconscious, it's just the way energy works. Energy precedes matter. So anyway, so that moved through this weekend and I was like, wow, okay. I needed to move that stuff through. Like it was some deep heart stuff. And so the residual of that yesterday, some things came into my awareness to be recognized and to be experienced. And what I recognized over the weekend was that I was still feeling a lot of grief for many things. Many of us are, like, I get it. So, in that awareness of the grief, a lot of it processed. So, yesterday, what came through wasn't grief, but it was so many tears, y'all. Oh my God. I'm talking like the cry where like your face completely contorts and like just snot and tears, like drool buckets. It was so beautiful. And so I was sitting with it. I'm like, I just want to name it. Like, what is this? And it wasn't grief, but it was related to grief. And it wasn't quite sadness. Sadness felt a little bit shallow. But what it was sorrow. I was experiencing sorrow. And sorrow is a lot more tender, as one of my friends reflected. And like grief hits you in waves. It's like, oh God, I'm in grief. And then you're like, okay, I need to like recalibrate, right? And then you get hit with another wave of grief and you're like, okay, okay, I'm back. Okay, everything's good. Okay, I'm feeling better. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, grief again, right? Sorrow is different for me. Sorrow is like a deep dive into the heart. The the equipment so that I can breathe while diving deep, right? Like the scuba gear or the submarine, whatever the apparatus is to dive deep into that heart space where sorrow is grace. Giving myself grace that I'm still feeling sorrow. Um, and sorrow for almost, it's very interesting. It's sorrow for the amount of love that I have to share. Like I was so in love. I loved so big, so deeply, so fully. And that experience ended. And that there was that grief at first, but the sorrow around it is just such a tender space that I've really not ever allowed myself to feel in any relationship ending, whether it was a job or a partnership or whatever. And so this time I'm really allowing myself to experience the sorrow. And in doing so, not it's coming up for all of my experiences, like in this big now. So anyway, so we dive into this sorrow depth with so much grace, right? So there's no judgment, no like I should be over that shit by now, or they don't love me. But like really just diving deep. And then each time I would dive deep, I would pull up these pearls, these little beautiful nuggets of this remembrance and recognition of love. So every time I would dive into this sorrow, I would come up with pearls of love. And that was very satisfying. And then it created space for me to be like, well, I guess I'm diving in again because I feel it. Like, I don't want to say I'm not choosing to dive in. If I dive in, I'm surrendering into the dive because my heart is calling me in. It's like a little magnet that's like, okay, Jane, we're going in. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm down and I'm in the depths of it, and just the memories of all the great things that had occurred and the love that I had experienced in all of these great moments, right? These like love making moments, whatever that was, whether it was like actual like love making or like hiking or cooking or whatever, right? Whatever these things are, these experiences of making of love, right? So it's experiencing love in action and stuff. So these memories would come up and so much love would form, and then it was like they would like float off like this like pearl bubble, and then I would feel like lighter in my body. So that's what I want to share, that I'm experiencing sorrow, and I'm grateful as fuck for it. And what I'm noticing, so I'm moving through the emotional body. A lot of people are moving it through their physical body. Yo, but like a lot of people, so many people have been in some dense physical for the past week or so. I'm talking like flare ups, joint pain, hard time breathing, extreme congestion, very COVID like symptoms, but way fucking worse. But not, but worse, but not, but worse. Anyway, same Z's, like physical like nerve pain, miscarriages, like physical like are you fucking kidding me, this is really uncomfortable, like am I going to survive, I know I'm going to survive, but am I going to survive? So this density that like I'm sharing about the sorrowful space to dive into in the heart, in the physical, there are also emotions that will support the unraveling or the healing or the release, the resistance in the physical. Oftentimes there's a relationship to control with any physical manifestation of pain. Let that one sink in. Very often there's a relationship to control that manifests in physical pain. Maybe it's that you feel like you're out of control. You can't control anything, right? You're like literally like oh, or you are trying to control your relationship with someone or something that's just not a healthy, balanced relationship, right? Maybe it's a relationship with food or with alcohol or um, the device, like scrolling or whatever, and you feel weak or you feel judgment that this person isn't doing what you want them to do, or that you can't control yourself, or that the world would be better if you could just fucking control everything. Whatever the case is, I want to put that out there because that's just what's coming through, that if you are experiencing a lot of physical pain, one, see where control is showing up in your life or where it may not be showing up in your life, and you could feel like maybe you feel like you could use more control, like more stability, more security, more focus, a stronger container to be held in, more support, like whatever that is. Um, Also, if you're moving through the physical, very similar to the emotional, surrender is kind of key. Being able to be like, well, okay, I feel like shit, I'm gonna surrender, and then and be able to go to the space of like, okay, well, what if this is it? Like, what if I'm dying? Well, then surrender into that. You'll actually release a lot of the pain and discomfort. I'm just speaking from my own experience. Try it. Worst case is that you just fall asleep and maybe never wake up, but then it doesn't matter because you're fucking dead, and who cares? We all get to the same finish line, so no judgment. Anyway, um, and if you're moving through a lot of physical pain, like take rest, ask for support, you know, do what is supporting your body and let your body heal itself. I know some people that as they're moving through this pain, they freak out. And not that this is right or wrong, I'm just sharing. So some people are freaking out, and then they're getting like all of these pharmaceuticals to mask the underlying cause of what the fuck is happening to their body. And it's just like if you go through an emotional experience and you take a pharmaceutical, you're going to have to fucking process it in another timeline. I'm the girl that's like, I'm all fire, so I'm like, I'll walk through it. It hurts, it burns. I don't give a shit, right? So there's that. So this is also this tidbits coming from the human that when I was getting divorced and I went to the psychologist that I was seeing for like fucking support, and I was like, I can't quit crying all the time. I'm having anxiety. I break it down, and I was like, I don't know what to do, and he was like, well, I can give you like an antidepressant and you'll feel better. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah. He's like, we could totally do that. He was like, and all this stuff you're going to have to process again anyway. He's like, so you can either do it now or later. And I was like, well, fuck that. I'll do it now. Like, let me get this shit over with. And he was like, okay, cool. And that really landed. We're going to deal with it, y'all. Physical pain. And I'm not saying don't get like support or medical help. Like, obviously, but like recognize if it's your go-to to be in complete resistance to discomfort, so that you reach out, to something that nature itself didn't make, you know, or you're in such resistance that you're like in pain and you're like, I don't need anything, I'm just going to suffer through it, because it's finding this harmonious balance, right? It's like, the diving into the heart, it's like diving into the depths and the darkness, and then the pearl pulls up, right? That's the balance of the dark and the light, the support and the surrender, the asking for support and receiving, the offering support and then not. Like there's a balance to everything. So like I know all that, and take all this with a grain of salt. I'm just sharing with y'all what's been coming up. A lot of emotional and heart activations. Also in the heart activations, because again, physical pain, discomfort, maladies, all that stuff starts with an emotional start. It starts with an emotional start. I know that was repetitive, but you know what I mean. There's an emotional start to it. So if we have a huge heart activation, so say this past weekend you were in ceremony, like me, I don't know, and you were diving into your heart and you're doing a lot of clearing and healing. Imagine that energy of the heart being like Drano in a pipe. And so now all the clog, say, moved to like this one area, and all of a sudden it's like you have an infection, or you have a really bad cough, or whatever. So, and this is also going to be years of energy that it's ready to move out of your body, so the invitation is to not fight it and to just be with it. So, yeah, we're moving through a lot of energetic shifts, which present itself in our bodies and in our hearts and in our minds. A lot of people their minds are opening up to this like, fuck it. And also opening up to like higher knowledge, higher awareness, greater awareness, a deeper sense of self, a deeper sense of connection to oneness, that we're all unified in some way, shape, or form. and kind of opening up the mind and the mind's eye and the third eye and the human eyes to the reality that we have been living that maybe isn't so much in light, that's been, hidden, um, intentionally harmful, those things. And that there's a lot of energy that moves when we see something for the first time or things come into our awareness. So whether it's coming into the awareness that you're going to die, like all of us, coming into the awareness that a lot of the system is extremely corrupt and they do like really weird Luciferian shit. Like, it's nuts. That that the they is poisoning the air and waters, and so we can figure out ways to create clean water and all the anyway. There's a lot of minds that are being open, and that can lead to either like wow, aha, or it leads to cognitive dissonance, complete denial, right? And that can lead to gaslighting. And so we're seeing that, like people projecting and being like, literally, what you're experiencing isn't real, is what they're saying. And you're like, but yeah, it is. It's actually my reality. And that's okay if it's not yours. So we're seeing this polarization of like, I accept and I don't accept. I love and I fear. We're seeing this polarization of I'm going to fucking move forward. I'm going to create. I'm going to do something about this. And we're also seeing the polarization of complete stagnation, fear-based paralyzation, right? Like we're seeing that. So many of us, we have a human that's lived in both aspects of these experiences. So it's almost like we're at the choosing point. What are you fucking choosing? Choose whatever you want. And trust that whatever you choose, whatever isn't in alignment with that, will need to move out. So if you're going to choose creation and love and acceptance for you and for everything else, anything that's not in alignment with that, through this and all timelines, through all of your bodies, will come into the awareness in the now so that it can be cleared and move through. Just did. If in the inverse, if you're going to choose fear and stagnation and wear your judgy pants all the time, any light of hope that you had will be diminished, and you will be left alone with your little conglomerate of dense, vibrating individuals. It's all choice. It doesn't matter. It's your choice. The invitation is to dive into your body, into your mind, into your heart, and open all of it up to receive guidance, to receive clarity, to receive healing, knowing, light, to receive love, to receive acceptance, asking it from yourself, to yourself, from the universe, and from others. And just being open to receiving that without a timeline of expectation and how it needs to and should show up. This is what we're moving into. We're moving through this polarization. We're already polarized. We live in duality. Once we make the choice, then we can live in a more neutral space when we're around those that aren't necessarily in resonance to the choices that we've made. It doesn't fucking matter. We're still creating our own fucking life. That's the way I'm seeing all this. So if you're experiencing a whole lot of physical pain, I love you and I send you so much love and grace, because I know physical pain is the least fun ever. I know that very well in multiple timelines of my own experience, where basically was damn near debilitated and couldn't walk and in extreme pain. So I feel y'all. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. If you're moving through mental dissonance and cognitive dissonance and you're just like, what the fuck is happening? My invitation is to stay as clear-headed as possible. Just go back to your breath, into the present moment. Remind yourself that you are safe in this now moment, and that none of us really know what's going to happen, and yet we all have a clue. Like our future self already knows. Actually, our future self is like, you got this. Quit dicking around. You got it. But you can dick around all you want, because you still get to where I am anyway, says your future self, right? But if your mind is feeling like it's going a little bit whack-doodles, reach out for help. Get in nature. Nature is such big medicine for the mind. go in the woods, right? Be with yourself, sing, be around a fire. These are basic human tools to bring us back, literally back to ourself, our body, and our mind, to bring us back into alignment. And if your emotional body is feeling a lot, right? You're feeling depression or anxiety, or you're feeling a lot of sadness, grief. Um, if you're extremely manic, excuse me, or you don't know why you're extremely manic and then very lethargic, and all of a sudden you're eating a whole lot, and you're like, why am I eating so much? But I can't. Like, I'm actually hungry. Or you're like, I haven't really eaten in a couple days, but I'm actually not hungry. Just like give yourself some grace. Make sure you're taking enough care of yourself. Check in to make sure that it's in alignment and all that stuff. But take it easy. Take it easy. That's like, take it easy. Take it easy, take it easy, take it easy. Wow, that one won't stop. Okay. Big message. Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. I love when messages come on repeat. It's literally like a tick. It's like, take it easy, take it easy, take it easy. Fucking, take it easy. Like, okay. So I hope that we all stay well and healthy, and make the choices that are in the highest good for all. That we can, no matter what, choose love, and we can choose presence. We can choose grace, and we can choose compassion. We can choose all of that. We can choose it for ourselves and for each other. We can choose to dive into the dark places and integrate the why we are the way we are, and to love all those bits and pieces of us. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, human experience. And we're never going to get it done, and we can't fuck it up. And you haven't fucked it up yet. You may think you fucked it up at some point, but you really haven't. You're here now. You've gotten yourself here. You've never left your ass. Earth hasn't kicked your ass off. Like, so to me, you're winning. We're all winning. We're all here in this now moment together, doing this thing, navigating a fucking consciousness ascension like no other, where people are literally tapping into higher realms of frequencies, of energy, of consciousness, of data, of information, of awareness. It's cool. Anyway, um, if there's any support that I can offer you, going through your timeline to pull out whatever epigenetics are maybe weighing your body down, or your emotional body down, or your mental body down, that's keeping you from like your spiritual path, anything that feels like it's blocking you from like embodying your future self, your higher self, embodying the life that we are here to hold. If there's some challenges and you're like, I don't fucking know, or maybe and you just like, I don't have the tools, whatever, I offer one-on-one sessions, so you can send me an email. I'd be happy to do that. I also offer an online course called The Fundamentals of Energy, where you will learn literally everything about energy to navigate every fucking thing. If you're a human, it's for you. And then I have workshops that are in-person workshops where we literally attune all of the chakras, so you experience them, and we reprogram and like go into the epigenetics of each of them, and also into the physical body with them. So you can go to my website, janetheguide.com, and like look for more if you're interested in different ceremonies and things like that I hold. So I love you all. I do. I love you so much. And I'm really grateful that we're here on this earth plane together to dive in deep and be the light, and to shine the light, and to feel like shit, and to get support, and to give support, and to do all of these things the best we can. I'm grateful that I'm not here alone, because this would be way less fun. And I'm grateful that you're here, and that you're moving through whatever it is that you're moving through. I offer you so much just honor and appreciation for all that you've been through that has gotten you to this now. I appreciate every one of you that's experienced some traumas and some really fucked up shit, because you're here to clear those lines, to clear those patterns, and to put in and imprint new patterns into the quantum field that's a lot more loving and kind and just compassionate and way more fucking fun and joyful. Like, that's what we are designed to experience, is like peace and pleasure and play. Like, we're actually divinely designed to have that experience. But that's where the choice comes in. So thanks for choosing to incarnate in these nows, and I will see you all on another now. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and I'll see you soon.